It's the video that's gone viral. A national restaurant chain is in the spotlight tonight after a Volusia County employee exposes trays of food next to the dumpster.
The average American consumes over 19 pounds of ice cream per year, and a shocking amount of that comes from fast food dessert counters. You walk up to that brightly lit menu thinking you're treating yourself to something sweet. But what if I told you that behind those glossy photos and tempting descriptions lies a world of deception? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Not all fast food desserts are created equal. Some are sugar bombs wrapped in marketing lies. Others are surprisingly decent. And a few are so bad they should come with a warning label. Dessert disaster number 1, McDonald's McCafé shakes. That towering McDonald's milkshake might look like childhood nostalgia in a cup, but it's actually a 1,100-calorie sugar assault disguised as a treat. A large chocolate shake contains 135 grams of sugar. To put that in perspective, that's more sugar than you'd find in 4 glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme. But the sugar content is just the beginning. Former McDonald's employees have revealed some disturbing truths about how these shakes are made. One worker from Ohio posted a viral video showing the shake machine's interior.
Here's one of the photos from inside the ice cream machine, and honestly, I am never eating at McDonald's again. That is absolutely grim. Here's another photo of a different machine, and honestly, look at all the gunk and dirt and grime. That is revolting.
The shake mix itself arrives in industrial-sized bags, preloaded with high fructose corn syrup, artificial vanilla flavoring, and something called carrageenan, which is also used in paint and cosmetics. One nutrition expert I spoke with called it liquid diabetes with a cherry on top. The worst part? The machines that make these shakes are notoriously difficult to clean and maintain. That's why McDonald's ice cream machines are broken so often. But when they are working, they're often harboring bacteria in hard-to-reach places. A former manager from Texas admitted, "We were supposed to deep clean those machines daily. In reality, it happened maybe twice a week, and even then, we'd rush through it." The texture should be your first clue. Real milkshakes are thick because of actual ice cream and milk. McDonald's shakes get their consistency from thickening agents and stabilizers. It's not cream you're tasting, it's chemistry. Dessert disaster number 2, Burger King's Hershey's Sundae pie. Burger King markets this as a premium dessert, complete with Hershey's branding and a price tag that suggests quality. But this frozen pie is a masterclass in disappointment wrapped in chocolate. The crust isn't made fresh in-store. It arrives frozen in boxes, often sitting in storage for weeks before being served. One former Burger King employee described the storage process. "Those pies would sit in our freezer for so long they'd get freezer burn. We'd just scrape off the ice crystals and serve them anyway." The filling is where things get really questionable. Despite the Hershey's name, the chocolate filling is mostly corn syrup, palm oil, and artificial chocolate flavoring. Real chocolate is listed as the 7th ingredient, after water, sugar, and various stabilizers. But here's the kicker. The nutritional information is misleading. Burger King lists the pie as 310 calories, but that's for a serving size that's about 2/3 of the actual pie. Eat the whole thing, which most people do, and you're looking at nearly 500 calories and 31 grams of sugar. Food safety is another concern. These pies are supposed to be stored at specific temperatures, but multiple locations have been cited for improper frozen dessert storage. One health inspector in Florida found Hershey's pies that had been thawed and refrozen multiple times, creating a texture he described as grainy ice with chocolate-flavored water. Dessert disaster. Number 3, Taco Bell's Cinnabon Delights. Taco Bell's partnership with Cinnabon sounds promising on paper. In reality, these bite-sized balls of regret are everything wrong with fast food desserts packed into a convenient, poppable format. Each order contains 12 small donuts filled with what Taco Bell calls Cinnabon frosting. But former employees have revealed that this frosting comes from a squeeze bottle that sits out at room temperature for hours. One worker from Arizona said, "That frosting would separate and get chunky. We'd just shake the bottle and keep using it." The donuts themselves are pre-made and frozen, then deep-fried in the same oil used for everything else on Taco Bell's menu. That means your sweet treat is absorbing flavors from chalupas, quesadillas, and whatever else has been cooked in that oil. One customer described the taste as cinnamon with a hint of ground beef. Nutritionally, these little bombs pack 930 calories and 86 grams of sugar per order. That's more sugar than a can of Coke and a Snickers bar combined. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment. High fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, artificial cinnamon flavoring, and something called sodium stearoyl lactylate, which is also used in shampoo. The real problem is portion control. These are designed to be eaten quickly, almost mindlessly. Before you know it, you've consumed nearly half your daily caloric intake in what feels like a few bites. Dessert disaster number 4, KFC's chocolate chip cake. KFC wants you to believe their chocolate chip cake is homemade comfort food, the kind your grandmother might have baked. This cake arrives at KFC locations pre-made and frozen, often sitting in storage for weeks before being served. The fresh-baked appearance comes from a quick thaw and a brush of corn syrup to make it look moist and appealing. One former KFC baker revealed the truth. "We didn't bake anything. We just took frozen cakes out of boxes, let them thaw, and put them in the display case. Sometimes they'd still be partially frozen in the middle when customers ordered them." The ingredient list is a parade of artificial everything. Artificial vanilla, artificial butter flavoring, high fructose corn syrup, and preservatives with names you can't pronounce. The chocolate chips aren't even real chocolate. They're chocolate-flavored chips made primarily of sugar and palm oil. At 560 calories per slice, this cake packs more calories than a KFC chicken breast. But unlike the chicken, which at least provides protein, this cake is pure empty calories with zero nutritional value. The storage conditions make it even worse. Health inspections have found KFC desserts stored improperly, with cakes sitting out at room temperature for hours. One location in Georgia was cited for serving cake that had visible mold on the bottom layer. The solution? They just cut off the moldy part and served the rest. Dessert disaster number 5, Subway's cookies. Subway's cookies seem innocent enough. They're baked in store, they smell amazing, and they're positioned right at eye level as you're paying for your healthy sandwich. But these cookies are sugar bombs disguised as a small indulgence. The dough arrives pre-made and frozen, loaded with enough preservatives to survive a nuclear winter. One former Subway employee described the baking process. "We'd just plop the frozen dough on a tray and stick it in the oven. Half the time, they'd be burnt on the outside and raw in the middle. A single chocolate chip cookie contains 220 calories and 15 grams of sugar. That might not sound terrible until you realize that most people don't eat just one. The average customer orders 2 or 3, turning a small treat into a 600-calorie sugar fest. The real issue is the ingredients. These cookies contain partially hydrogenated oils, which are essentially trans fats in disguise. Storage is another problem. These cookies are supposed to be kept in sealed containers, but many locations leave them out in open displays where they absorb moisture, odors, and whatever else is floating around the restaurant. One customer posted a photo of a Subway cookie with a visible hair baked into it. The store's response? "We'll give you a different cookie." Dessert disaster. Number 6, Wendy's Frosty. Wendy's Frosty has a cult following, and I'll admit, the marketing is brilliant. It's positioned as a unique treat that's somewhere between a milkshake and soft-serve ice cream. But the reality behind this beloved dessert is less appetizing than the commercials suggest. The Frosty mix arrives in bags, preloaded with artificial flavors and enough stabilizers to keep it from melting too quickly. One former Wendy's manager revealed, that machine was supposed to be cleaned every night. In reality, it happened maybe 3 times a week. The inside would get this slimy buildup that was impossible to completely remove. The chocolate Frosty doesn't actually contain much chocolate. The primary ingredients are milk, sugar, corn syrup, and artificial chocolate flavoring. Real cocoa is listed near the bottom of the ingredient list, after various gums and stabilizers. A large Frosty contains 590 calories and 77 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than you'd find in a 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola. But because it's cold and creamy, your brain doesn't register the sweetness the same way it would with a candy bar, making it easy to consume without realizing how much sugar you're actually eating. The machines themselves are problematic. They require specific temperatures and regular maintenance to prevent bacterial growth. Multiple Wendy's locations have been cited for improper Frosty machine maintenance, with health inspectors finding buildup and contamination in the dispensing mechanisms. Dessert disaster number 7. Arby's turnovers. Arby's turnovers look homemade and wholesome, like something you might find at a local bakery. These turnovers arrive frozen and are heated in the same ovens used for Arby's sandwiches, absorbing flavors and odors from roast beef and other menu items. One former employee said, "You could taste the meat in the apple turnovers. It was subtle, but it was there." The filling is mostly high fructose corn syrup with artificial apple flavoring and very little actual fruit. The pastry is made with partially hydrogenated oils and enough preservatives to keep it fresh for months in storage. At 365 calories per turnover, they're not the worst offender on this list, but the deceptive marketing makes them particularly problematic. Customers think they're getting a wholesome fruit-filled pastry. Instead, they're getting a sugar bomb with artificial everything. The real issue is temperature control. These turnovers are supposed to be heated to specific temperatures to ensure food safety, but many locations rush the process to keep up with demand. The result is pastries that are scalding hot on the outside and still frozen in the center, creating an uneven texture and potential food safety issues. Now, before you swear off fast food desserts entirely, let me share the 2 that are actually worth your money and won't completely derail your health goals. Worth it. Number 1. Chick-fil-A's Icedream Cone. In a world of artificial everything, Chick-fil-A's Icedream stands out for its simplicity and quality. This isn't technically ice cream because it doesn't meet the FDA's requirements for butterfat content, but that's actually a good thing in this case. The Icedream is made with real milk, sugar, and natural vanilla flavoring. No artificial colors, no high fructose corn syrup, no unpronounceable chemicals. A small cone contains just 170 calories and 23 grams of sugar, making it one of the most reasonable dessert options in fast food. The machines are cleaned daily, and the mix is made fresh regularly. Multiple former employees have confirmed that Chick-fil-A takes food safety seriously, with strict protocols for dessert preparation and storage. The texture is light and refreshing, not overly sweet or artificial tasting. It's what soft serve should be: simple, clean, and satisfying without being overwhelming. Worth it. Number 2. In-N-Out's Neapolitan Shake. In-N-Out's commitment to quality extends to their desserts. Their Neapolitan Shake is made with real ice cream, real milk, and natural flavors. No artificial colors, no high fructose corn syrup, no mysterious stabilizers. The shake machines are cleaned religiously, and the ice cream is made with simple ingredients you can actually pronounce. A regular shake contains about 590 calories, which is substantial but reasonable for an occasional treat. What sets In-N-Out apart is their commitment to freshness. The ice cream doesn't sit around for weeks. It's used quickly and replaced regularly. The result is a shake that actually tastes like the vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry it's supposed to represent. The texture is thick and creamy because it's made with real ingredients, not thickening agents and artificial stabilizers. It's what a milkshake should be: indulgent but honest. The bottom line: the fast food dessert landscape is a minefield of artificial ingredients, questionable storage practices, and nutritional nightmares. Most of these desserts are engineered to be addictive, not satisfying. They're designed to make you crave more while providing little to no nutritional value. The 7 desserts we've exposed today represent everything wrong with fast food culture: the prioritization of profit over quality, the use of artificial ingredients to mask poor quality base products, and the complete disregard for customer health in favor of shelf life and cost savings. But the two worth it options prove that it's possible to create fast food desserts that are both delicious and relatively honest. They show that when companies prioritize quality ingredients and proper preparation, the results speak for themselves. Here's my challenge to you. The next time you're tempted by that glossy menu photo or that too good to be true price, remember what you've learned today. Ask yourself if that momentary sweetness is worth the sugar crash, the empty calories, and the artificial aftertaste that lingers long after the last bite. Your body deserves better than chemistry experiments disguised as desserts. Your taste buds deserve real flavors, not artificial approximations. And your wallet deserves to know when you're paying premium prices for bottom-shelf ingredients. If you're going to indulge, make it count. Choose quality over quantity, real ingredients over artificial shortcuts, and companies that respect their customers enough to serve them food instead of food-like products. The truth isn't always sweet, but it's always worth knowing. And now that you know, you can never unknow. The question is, what will you do with this information? If this opened your eyes to what's really in your dessert, hit that like button and subscribe for more investigations into what the food industry doesn't want you to know. Share this with someone who still thinks that McDonald's shake is just harmless fun. Because knowledge is power, and the power to choose what goes into your body should always be yours. Remember, the truth isn't always on the menu, but it should be.